Many thanks for staying tuned. Well, this conversation is something that is really nostalgic and propagates a lot of emotions, especially considering the persons that lost their lives over the weekend. And we have reports that over 20 persons, including a pregnant woman, 4 children, and a couple were critically injured following a gas explosion in the Orazi axis of Port Hackett, Rivers State. Now, the incident occurred on Saturday afternoon, January 4, 2025, near a densely populated area in Orazi called Big Tree. Many of the victims, including residents and some passers-by, suffered severe burns and were rushed to the River State University Teaching Hospital in Port Hackett. And a really graphic video posted by an eyewitness shows some of the victims with severe burns. And the video is too gruesome to even show here. It was learned that the explosion occurred in a gas refueling shop when a technician who runs the place was said to be fixing a faulty cylinder. Immediately, the cylinder exploded and it affected other cylinders. And reactions have been trailing this particular incident. We'll let you have a view of some of the reactions trailing this issue.
It was so deadly. So the tragedy here on Saturday was something else, because I called it a black Saturday because it was indeed terrible. On getting to the hospital yesterday, they said this man's daughter has died. The person he went to the fire to save, because the girl was burning and the son was, both of them, the two child, they were burning. He couldn't stand to watch his child burn.
We have not heard. It's only one person that we heard that the person has died, but majority of people sustain injury.
What happened yesterday on Saturday? It's a sad one, but that's part of the measures we're putting in now to ensure that it doesn't occur again. That look, we must do the right thing. Those who are filling gas inside the shop should henceforth stop. Those also using caravan, building a caravan, sitting there to where to put gas, we have also stopped them because we want the safety of our people. I want to appeal to DPR that they should immediately monitor what is happening. You can't give people approval on authorized place, you cite the gas, this kind of thing, you cite it there. And once everything happens, this place is finished. We lost a lot of lives, so we are trying to avert this kind of occurrence again. So I want to appeal to DPR. Look, they should also set up a task force.
What happened at Orazi is a clear eye-opener for landlords and landladies that are giving out their residential houses for such business of gas filling. The retail regulatory authorities known to us as DP and then DPRA, Ministry of Urban in Rivers State, have severally condemned all these actions. But because of one thing or the other,
well, a similar scenario played out in Delta State, where the Delta State where tragedy struck in Boji Abo in Ika, south of Delta State on Sunday, when a tanker laden with fuel exploded, with several persons feared dead and many houses and vehicles razed down. The governor of Delta State has also spoken about this very gruesome incident, saying that he was going to ensure that he renders the much needed help to victims. We also have a couple of reactions from Delta State as regards this issue, as many leaders around the country have spoken about this.
And we will definitely see how best we can support to support the affected persons, because people, as you can see, people have lost their sources of livelihood, and so we call on not just government institutions, but also good-spirited individuals to come to the aid of, but we definitely will support them. We're going to compile a list of those that have been affected, determine the losses incurred. That's for those that lost material things, and see how best we can support them.
Not about the gusu, now my raw cash. When they inside now they cry for. Both the store, both the packet store. What I'm praying, let the government and the NDDC let them come assist, so that we can see somewhere to start with again. Children day, school fees day, high institution day. So this one I did now. This making second time. Now the first one I put me to this condition. Now another one happened again.
Well, really sad story right there in Rivers and Delta State, but we would be talking about this with an oil and gas expert who understands what it means to have these incidences in the volume they are reoccurring in the Niger Delta region. Well, we have in the studio Dr. Samuel Okpokowuruk. He is also a pastor. Doctor, you're welcome Niger Delta Today.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Brother, leave it at the pastor.
It's all right.
I don't like to use...
Okay,
okay.
Indeed. Well, I mean, the events in Rivers State, as a result of the gas explosion that led to the loss of lives and indeed many people being injured, over 20 as the reports have it, and also in Delta State, the tanker laden with explosives that exploded actually and led to persons losing their lives as well. The allegation is that the vehicle failed in terms of brake, and that led to it losing control and the driver also having to suffer that fatal fall, which led to other people being victims. Now, let's look at these things holistically. There's an issue of negligence here, and there is also the call for persons to be more cautious, especially when it comes to how these inflammables are handled in Nigeria. I mean, we don't really hear about events of this nature outside the country where these issues are well taken care of. What is really the problem here? Is it an issue of negligence, or are there steps that must be taken to ensure that events of this nature are curtailed as much as possible?
Yeah, thank you for having me this afternoon. The issue of gas explosion may continue if the government and the regulatory authorities do not step in and step in very firmly. In fact, drastically. The reason is, in the regulatory framework, let's take even the filling stations. If you go around like a back road, you see the way filling stations are situated. Actually, if you check the act, the DPR procedures, a filling station is supposed to be a football field apart. A football field apart. So that if something happens, it's easier to mitigate than where you have, a back road is a very clear example, where you have a filling station side by side with another filling station, with another filling station. You can have like 3-4 filling stations in a row. However, they were able to pass the supposedly stringent regulatory framework to establish those plants, those stations are things that, like I said, we may continue to have those explosions. Now, I want you to understand that Nigeria has not been a gas user-friendly country. It is now that you have people coming into gas. We were mostly depending on kerosene and firewood. It is in very recent times that you have people have gas, and you see, you go if you come to my house, my gas is outside. The pipe takes the gas, the cylinder is outside because anything can happen. The gas, the cylinder you see here, we have not been able to establish for people to know if the cylinder you are using has expired.
Some people don't even know that
cylinders
there's an
expire. And when cylinders expire, they are prone to explosion. There could be leakages. Like I think the one of Port Harcourt, they said somebody was trying to weld.
Yeah.
For you to weld, you have to have been specially trained to weld. There will be a need of a lot of water, a lot of foam. There are special foams that are used. But do our local welders have knowledge of those things to know? So that would have been averted if even a welding shop that is welding gas should be regulated, should actually have a permit, because it's a volatile medium to explode. Gas uses air. So, and air, when it explodes, it just runs. It's different from petrol, which you can see. But even petrol, when petrol pours, excuse me, you find out that the fumes of the petrol, even it will not only follow where the petrol is running, it will also follow the fumes. Now, talk less of what is only gas. That's why you had the danger. You find people here, like 20 cylinders of gas in a truck. A truck that looks like it's going to fall. That is a bomb. That is a massive bomb moving. You don't have to have gas in those cylinders. Let one explode. Anything around that area will be finished.
So even without gas inside?
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Even without gas inside. It is a, so sometimes I drive on the road and you see, Nigeria has gone such that we have done the wrong thing so much so that when you try to do the right thing, people jump at you, people accuse you. I've had situations where some road safety people try to intervene in some vehicular movements that were not looking worthy of being on the road. And you see that the people around will now try to attack the road safety people who are trying to actually save their lives.
Indeed.
Are you following? So, in the case of explosion, and I wish the governor of Akwa Ibom and the people of Akwa Ibom would watch this, that they will please remove every gas filling plant from houses, from shops and from stores, because those are explosive gadgets that are waiting to destroy the people.
So, Pastor Paul, how do we actually identify, the expired cylinder? How can...
No, you see, the problem is that most of the cylinders are so old, you can't see any imprint. So, but if you go to buy a new cylinder, you will find some letters and some letters. CA, they are arranged in quarters that will tell you when that cylinder was. If it's CA, I think that should be March. I didn't come with the, but I can give you the format of. So they have letters that will tell you when your cylinder was made or when it is expiring.
And the experts can also guide you to understand.
Yes,
if the letters
and true. I think the government should also, even if it's a subsector, a small arm of maybe the petroleum something, for a group of people to be able to monitor and go around everywhere there is a gas plant or a gas filling business that is not, because you cannot put gas in a house you are selling gas. Anything that is a spark, any spark around will trigger a fire,
all right,
an
explosion.
Pastor Okpokowuruk, let me hold your thoughts there. And we have some reactions to this story. And we'd like to get you to see some of them. This is from Emmanuel. He says, no Rivers State government has ever invested huge in fire service. Shame. The people always depend on Shell, Agip, and other companies' fire services to come to their rescue in putting out fire.
Port Harcourt should have up to 4 standard different fire officers. That's coming from Emmanuel. We also have from Kashmir Ajem. They said the solution is stabilizing electricity because majority of the explosions are caused by stocking fuel or diesel at home for, rainy days. People do this to generate electricity at night, not knowing it is the responsibility of the government to provide electricity. That's true for hours. From Emeka, we have, I would also like to suggest that the use of cooking gas generators or any means of energy generation should be massively regulated and offenders dealt with severely, especially the matter of on-service gas cylinders from users at homes and even vendors who sell in the street. These things contribute to the incessant fire outbreaks we have in Delta State. So cylinders can be serviced as...
Well, the issue of servicing cylinders is neither here nor there. If a cylinder expires, a cylinder expires. Maybe something is wrong with a functioning cylinder, maybe that's what he calls servicing.
Okay.
But when a cylinder expires, a cylinder, you have to do away with it and buy another
new one.
Yes.
All right, Pastor Okpokowuruk. Well, we have a couple of information here that backs up your earlier thoughts as regards how cylinders expire. Well, A is for March, that's first quarter. B is for June, the second quarter.
That's right.
C is for September, third quarter. And
right.
D is for December, fourth quarter. But just before we let you out of the studio, let's talk about how we can ensure that persons are very conscious about these issues that we're talking about, especially to prevent these hazards from occurring as rampantly as they are occurring now.
Yes, you know, I began by saying that we are a new user culture people for gas. So I think one of the things the government has to invest in is information, sending out information to people, to the communities, that the use of gas. And then it's also very important for gas plants. Gas plants should have experts that should know gas cylinders that are expired. When people come to buy, you have a right to say, no, we can't fill this cylinder because it has expired.
Okay.
Even if you cry blood, we are saving your life.
Okay.
So it's very important for government to do that, to ensure that all the gas, the regulated gas plants, because all these people filling gases in homes should be completely banned, completely, absolutely. Only people that have been certified by DPR, you know, to run gas plants are the ones that should run gas plants. And then when people come to fill the gases, that is a very safe place to begin to sieve out
those expired ones.
Yes, the expired ones. That is where we can begin from.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Pastor Samuel Okpokowuruk, oil and gas expert, for sharing your ideas and thoughts on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for
God
coming
bless
around,
you.
Pastor.
And please, I want to use this occasion to say congratulations to Reverend Dr. Mokpai. He turns 80 today. He's a part of Niger Delta, and he has given a spiritual guide to Niger Delta. In fact, somebody that has told not just a few governors before they became governors, even president before they become president. That's an icon that God has placed in this city.
Okay.
Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
Pastor.
very much.
Well,
Yes.
just after this break, we'll be bringing you the first and the next issue on the program, so stay tuned.